What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Keaton, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Link is in the description below as I get into my Week 14 NFL predictions. So let's not waste any time here. Let's get into these picks. Last week went 6-7, which is a not so good week. Lots of upsets and some games I wish I had back. Season 117-74, which is still pretty good, but I'm hoping for a bounce back week here. Teams on the bye: Arizona Cardinals, Washington Commanders. We have our toilet bowl of the week. We have the New England Patriots at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers favored by 6. Patriots coming off of a low-scoring, ugly loss to the Chargers 6-0. Same thing I've been saying all season. Patriots can't get the ball going down the field offensively. The defense is playing phenomenal on that side of the ball. As of right now, they've ranked 8th on total defense. But their offense, like I said, just can't get anything going down the field. And Bailey Zappi didn't make much of a difference when the Patriots benched Mac Jones there. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they came off of a home loss 24-10 to the Cardinals, which I was very surprised. I picked the Steelers last week to win because I thought their defense would be able to contain and make the Cardinals one-dimensional. Turn Kyler Murray over. They just couldn't do that. Obviously, they had the multiple rain delays. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not going to use that as an excuse. Pittsburgh, you were the home team here, and I think what it came down to is you overlooked the Cardinals, and it definitely showed. They came out there and they punched y'all in the mouth the whole game. So, but overall in this game, I'm gonna pick the Steelers to win 14-9. Not much to talk about here. Mitchell Trubisky's going to get the start at quarterback with Kenny Pickett out for 2 to 4 weeks with an injury. Trubisky's going to do what he can, play safe with the ball, and not put the ball in harm's way. They should be able to make enough plays on that side more than the Patriots will. So, Steelers 14-10 on Thursday Night Football. Next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons favored by 2.5. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off a close win at home against the Carolina Panthers, 21-18. The Bucs did what they needed to do to win. Obviously, Panthers made things competitive throughout the whole game. But Baker Mayfield and company, they just made the plays down the stretch to win there. So they got a big time home win last week to keep themselves in the NFC South race here. The Falcons coming off of a road win at the Jets, 13-8. They didn't do much offensively. Obviously, the Jets defense, like I said, it's been a bright spot for them all season. They made things competitive, but the Falcons, obviously, they found a way to put up more points and stuff like that. But overall in this game, in this first matchup, the Falcons ended up winning in Tampa 16-13. So I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are getting back here 20-17 in Atlanta. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will get them back here after what happened earlier in the season between these two teams. This will be a big win for Tampa Bay, obviously, to put some that ties with the Falcons in the division and have a chance to make the playoffs and that type of deal. So Tampa Bay 2017 in Atlanta. Next game, we have another NFC North showdown. We have the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. Lions favored by 3 points. Lions coming off of a high-scoring win at the Saints, 33-28. The Lions had a big-time lead early, 21-0, and the Saints obviously got back into the game and stuff like that. The Lions defense continues to be a concern a little bit. They are giving up a lot of points on that side of the ball. But Jared Goff and that offense, they're playing really good football right now on that side, putting up points and holding off teams and stuff like that. The Chicago Bears were on the bye last week. They did come off of a Week 12 win at Minnesota, 12-10. But the first matchup between these two teams, the Lions won 31-26. Obviously, the Chicago Bears had a 26-14 lead with 3 minutes left in that game, and the Lions ended up coming back and winning. So between these two teams here, I still like the Lions to win 24-19. I think this will be a lower scoring game than last time. I just think the Bears will be able to make things competitive. Obviously, Justin Fields making plays for his team, but I think the Lions here know what's on the line They still have a shot at the number one seed in NFC, believe it or not. So give me the Lions here. Lower scoring game, 24-19 in Chicago. Next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Cincinnati Bengals. Colts favored by 1 point. Colts coming off of a high scoring win in overtime in Tennessee, 31-28. The Colts, obviously, they continue to impress me this season. Like I said, I was not expecting the Colts to be where they are, fighting for the playoffs and that type of deal. Um, I thought this would have been one of the worst teams going in the season, but they definitely proved me wrong so far this year. But the offense, like I said, continues to be a spark on that side. Gardner Minshew's playing really well. And the run game, obviously, has been pretty consistent throughout the season. So Colts got a lot of good things going for them right now. The Cincinnati Bengals coming off of a big time road win Monday Night Football at the Jags, 34-31. The Bengals definitely shocked me. I was not expecting them to go down in Jacksonville and win without Joe Burrow. But like I said in my last week's video, I said that I'm curious to see if the Bengals had the hunger and fight in them, and they definitely showed a lot of fight in that game. They could have just laid down and gave up on the season, but they came out and I know Trevor Lawrence got injured late in the game, but you can't take away from what the Bengals did. Browning obviously looked composed in the pocket throwing the football and just made the plays to his receivers. Jamar Chase had a pretty big game there. So the Bengals offense, like I said, they're still here and they're going to compete until the end, whether if they make the playoffs or not. But overall, this is my upset of the week. I like the Bengals at home here, 21-20. Like I said, I like what I've seen from the Bengals offensively. Defense obviously is not as good. That's a bit of a concern there. But if the Bengals can duplicate what they did last week into this game against a pretty stingy Colts defense here, now I think they can get the win here. So something just tells me I think this is an upset. So give me the Bengals 21-20 in Cincinnati. Next game, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cleveland Browns. Browns favored by 2 points. Jags coming off a home loss to the Cincinnati Bengals 34-31. The Jags obviously didn't have Trevor Lawrence late in that game, but they still had an opportunity to win that game in overtime. They just couldn't get the job done at home there. The Cleveland Browns, they came off of a dominant loss at the Rams 36-19. They just got dominated on both sides of the ball. I mean, Joe Flacco obviously showed some flashes throwing the football. He made some nice plays early on in the game. But the Rams, like I said, they're a hungry team right now. They're getting healthier and healthier each week, and it's showing on their defense and in their play. They're a team that's fighting for a playoff spot, and they got a big time win there at home. Cleveland just couldn't get anything going down the field consistently throughout the game there. But overall, as of right now, Trevor Lawrence is day to day. But in my opinion, I don't think he's going to play. So I'm going to give the edge to the Cleveland Browns here, 19-13 at home, assuming Trevor Lawrence doesn't play. It's going to be cold. Obviously, this game's in Cleveland. Cleveland has been 5-1 at home this season, so they're a much better home team than they are on the road. So give me the Browns here in a close matchup, 19-13 in Cleveland. Next game, we have an NFC South showdown. We have the Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. Saints favored by 5.5. Carolina coming off of a close loss at Tampa Bay, 21-18. Carolina put themselves in the game from start to finish. I like the fight that I seen from the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, the story has been all season. They just can't finish games. They don't have the talent, obviously, to be able to hold off teams and stuff like that. But like I said, they still put themselves in position to win the game there. They just couldn't make enough plays down the stretch against a good Tampa Bay team. The Saints coming off a home loss to the Detroit Lions 33-28. Obviously, the Saints were down big early in that game, 21-0, but they got themselves back into the game late in the game and stuff like that. Had an opportunity to win. But like I said, the Saints defense did give up a lot of points in that game. Obviously, I was expecting more from the defense. I know the Lions are pretty good offensively, but I was expecting the Saints to show up to put up a little more fight on the defense. But I did like what I've seen from the offense. They did get back into the game and stuff like that. But overall, in this game, the Saints should have no problems against this Carolina team. I'm going with the Saints to win 23-17. to 13 at home against the Carolina Panthers. They should have no issues against this Panthers team. They should play a solid defense against Bryce Young, get pressure on him, and make things hell for that Carolina Panthers offense. So give me the Saints here. So 23-13 at home. Next game, we have the Houston Texans at the New York Jets. Texans favored by 6.5. Texans coming off of a big home win against the Denver Broncos, 22-17. I really like what I've seen from the Texans defense. They did hold a Denver Broncos team who was on a 5-game winning streak going into that game to 17 points. They really contained Russell Wilson and crew, kept them in check, and they did a pretty solid job on that side of the ball. Obviously, C.J. Stroud and company got a bounce back win after losing the week prior to the Jags at home. The New York Jets come off a home loss to the Atlanta Falcons 13-8. Like I've been saying all season, same thing. Jets offense just can't get anything going. They started Trevor Siemian, and obviously he didn't make much of a difference at all. The Jets right now, they have an incompetent quarterback play right now. That's the problem with them is no matter who you put at quarterback, you're going to get the same result. Can't get the ball going down the field. The defense, like I said, kept you in the game. But like I said, they can only do but so much on that side of the ball. Eventually, your offense is going to have to make enough plays, and they just haven't done that um, all season long there. But overall in this game, I'm not going to think about too much. Give me the Texans to win 21-10. I think the Jets defense will be able to keep them in it. But the Texans offense will be able to make more plays. Obviously, they should be able to. It'll be a close game early, but I think they should open up, especially late in that second half there against the Jets team who's struggling offensively. So give me the Texans here to win comfortably 21-10 in New York. Next game, we have an interconference matchup. We have the Los Angeles Rams at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens favored by 7 points. The Rams, they come off of a home dominant win against the Cleveland Browns, 36-19. Like I said before, the Rams are getting hot at the right time. They're getting healthier and healthier each week. And this is a hungry team who is fighting for a playoff spot. And they went out there and they punched Cleveland in the mouth on both sides of the ball. And just limited the Browns offensively. They couldn't get anything going down the field throughout the game there and stuff like that. The Ravens came off of a bye. They did come off of a Week 12 win at the Chargers 20-10. Between these two teams here, the Rams are traveling cross country. You know how teams are when they travel across country to the East Coast. Their body clocks aren't really adjusted. Really, it's 10 o'clock back in LA. It's 1 o'clock in Baltimore and that type of deal. But the Ravens here, I would like them to win 27-21. I think the Rams will cover the spread here, but I think the Ravens will make more plays. They're at home, and obviously the Ravens are fighting for the top seed in the AFC and stuff like that. So give me the Ravens here, 27-21. Should be a phenomenal game here. Next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Las Vegas Raiders. Vikings favored by 3 points. Vikings were on the bye last week. They did come off of a Week 12 loss against Chicago, 12-10. The Las Vegas Raiders were on the bye as well. They did come off of a Week 12 loss against the Chiefs, 31-17. I'm going to keep this short here. I think what it's going to come down to between these two teams is which quarterback can take care of the football. That's going to come down. That's what it's going to come down to. Which quarterback can take care of the football and which defense can get the most stops. And I think between the two teams, I think the Minnesota Vikings defense is better. They're better against the run than the Vegas Raiders are. And I just think, Aiden O'Connell is a young quarterback who has potential. But I think he's more prone to turn the ball over against this Vikings defense. And then the Vikings are also getting Justin Jefferson back, which is a huge for their offense. He means a lot for that Vikings offense in terms of playmaking and that type of deal down the field. But overall, I like the Vikings here. 2017, I think this should be a really close game here. Like I say, I think the Vikings will be able to turn Aiden O'Connell over, and that'll be the difference in the game there. So give me the Vikings on the road, 2017 in Vegas. Next game, we have an NFC West showdown. We have the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers favored by 10.5. Seahawks come off of a loss down in Dallas, 41-35, high scoring affair there. Seahawks obviously put themselves in the game. I was not expecting them to go in there and put up 35 points offensively. Um, but they showed some fight. Obviously, their playoff lives are on the line here. Seattle's gonna come out and give what they have, not and make things competitive and stuff like that. But like I said, they didn't make enough plays down the stretch in Dallas. The San Francisco 49ers came off a beatdown win at Philadelphia 42-19. I mean, like I said, the 49ers are showing why they're the team to beat in football. This is the best team in football, and they're showing it week in and week out. Like I said, getting Chase Young at the deadline was huge for this defense. This defense is flying all around the football field, making plays. The offense, Brock Purdy, and them are being consistent each and every week, putting up high scoring numbers on that side of the ball. There's no weakness with this 49er team right now. They have offense, they have the receivers, they have the defense, coaching, etc. They have what it takes to win the Super Bowl this year. But overall in this matchup, the 49ers have had their way against the Seahawks team. Give me this 49ers 31-17. They should be able to win comfortably here against a Seahawks team that obviously has been pretty inconsistent at times, especially offensively. Geno Smith has had some flashes, but there's times where he just hasn't been a good quarterback, especially against this 49er team. He just hasn't been able to figure out this 49ers defense. So give me the Niners at home by 2 touchdowns here. Another good game here. We have the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 2.5. Bills came off a bye last week. They did come off a Week 12 loss at Philadelphia, 37-34. The Chiefs came off a Sunday Night Football loss at Green Bay, 27-19. Obviously, you have to give the Packers credit on defense. They did hold Patrick Mahomes and company to only 19 points. The Chiefs receivers continue to be the story here. They're dropping passes. Mahomes is making nice throws to his receivers, and they just aren't making the catches that they need to put themselves in position to win. Obviously, there was a questionable pass interference call that wasn't called towards the end there. Patrick Mahomes threw it deep. Referee was right there, didn't make the call there. But like I said, it doesn't take away from what the Packers did. They did what they needed to do on both sides of the ball to win the game there. But between these two teams, you got the Buffalo Bills who are currently fighting for a playoff spot right now, but they got a lot of things going on. The whole Von Miller situation, and also the team that's trying to fight for the playoffs. It just doesn't help their cause when you have other things going on outside of the football field. And the Chiefs obviously have had their way against this Bills team every time they play each other. So I'm going to roll with the Chiefs here at home, 28-24. Obviously, Chiefs came off a loss last week. I like them to bounce back against the Bills team. Like I said, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to come down to who has the ball last, and I think the Chiefs will have the ball last, and I think the Chiefs will make more plays than the Bills will offensively. So give me the Chiefs here by 4 points at home. We have an AFC West showdown here. We have the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers favored by 3 points. Denver coming off of a road loss down in Houston, 22-17. Obviously, it was a low-scoring game there. The Broncos obviously put themselves in position to win the game towards the end. But Russell Wilson ended up throwing the interception in the end zone and stuff like that. Broncos defense, like I said, they've been playing pretty well. Like I said, ever since that Dolphins uh, loss when they gave up 70 points, their defense has been spot on. From there, like I said, they just couldn't make enough plays. You have to really give the Texans credit on both sides. After losing the week prior to the Jags, the defense made some plays down the stretch to hold off a hot Denver team who was currently on the 5-game winning streak going into that game. The Los Angeles Chargers came off of just an ugly win at New England, 6-0. Yes, 6-0. I said there. Um, Not much to say about that game. Like I said, the Chargers they put up more points than the Patriots did. I'm just gonna keep it at that. Overall in this game, I like the Denver Broncos to bounce back here, 20-16. I just think they're a better football team right now. I did not like what I seen from the Chargers last week against a Patriots team that's tanking and stuff like that. The Broncos obviously showed, even though they lost, they showed me a little bit more something than the Chargers did. So give me the Broncos here to get a bounce back win here on the road at the Chargers, 20-16. Game of the week right here. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 3.5. Philadelphia Eagles came off an embarrassing loss at home to the 49ers 42-19. I mean, they just got punched in the mouth on both sides of the ball. This Eagles team just didn't come prepared, obviously. The 49ers, like I said, took that game personally after what happened in last year's NFC Championship game. They just took it out on the Eagles on both sides of the ball. A lot of smack talking going into that game. But the 49ers, they backed it up. Their players were talking throughout the week. Like I said, they took this game personal and they backed up. They backed it up on the football field there. They definitely punched Philadelphia in the mouth there. Philadelphia had no answers on both sides of the ball. The Dallas Cowboys came off a win, a high-scoring win against the Seattle Seahawks, 41-35 last Thursday night. Like I said, the Cowboys, they continue to dominate at home. They're averaging about 41 points per game at home. And like I said earlier in the season, I said these teams would split, and I stand by that. So I like the Dallas Cowboys 28-26 at home. Like I said, the first matchup they lost 20-23 in Philadelphia, a game that they probably should have won if they just didn't make those boneheaded mistakes at the end of the game. I think Dallas right now they're in the mix, not just for the playoffs, but they're in the mix for the number one seed. Believe it or not, they win this game, they're tied with the Philadelphia Eagles at 10-3. So this is a big game for both teams. But I like the Dallas Cowboys to get a bounce back win against this Eagles team by 2 points at home. Next game we have the Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 14. The Tennessee Titans came off a heartbreaking loss in overtime against the Indianapolis Colts, 31-28. The Titans they just couldn't stop the Colts in overtime there. They couldn't get the stops against a hot Colts offense who is currently fighting for a playoff spot in the AFC. The Titans put themselves in position to win, but they just couldn't make enough plays to get the stops there, and they didn't do enough offensively against the Colts there. The Miami Dolphins came off of a dominant road win at the Commanders, 45-15. I was not expecting them to win by that much, but like I said in last week's video, I expected the Dolphins to have a field day against that Commanders defense and stuff like that, and they did just that. I don't know what the Commanders' plan going in that game was. They played a lot of man-to-man against a Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and they just got burnt the whole game there. Not sure what the game plan going into that game was for the Commanders, but the Dolphins just had a field day and they were able to do what they want pretty much on both sides of the ball. Their offense is balling right now, and their defense is getting hot at the right time, and they currently sit at the number one seed as I'm speaking right now. But overall in this game, this is my lock of the week. I like the Dolphins to win here 33-16. I just think they're too explosive. I don't think the Titans defense, even though Mike Vrabel is a great coach, I just don't see the way the Titans are able to contain this Miami offense, explosive Miami offense. And like I said, we don't know the status of Derrick Henry. If he doesn't play in this game, I think the Dolphins can make the Titans one-dimensional and stuff like that. So give me the Dolphins to dominate here at home, 33-16. Last game of the week, we have the Green Bay Packers at the New York Giants. Packers favored by 6.5. Packers coming off the big home win against the Chiefs, 27-19. Like I said, I really like what I've seen for the Packers defensively, holding Patrick Mahomes and company to only 19 points, which is very impressive. The Packers defense is getting hot at the right time. Jordan Love in that offense is playing really well right now and stuff like that. And they're currently sitting at number 7 in the NFC as I'm speaking. So, like I said, if they continue to dominate on defense like the way they are, and Jordan Love continues to progress in these last 5 weeks or so, then this is going to be a dangerous Packers team in the playoffs if somehow they do hold on to that spot there. The New York Giants come off like bye. They did come off Week 12 dub at home against the Patriots, 10-7. Not gonna get much into the Giants. Like I said, Tommy DeVito, I like what I've seen from him. He has potential there. Obviously, this is not the long-term solution for the Giants, but I like the way he stepped in and just played his style of play and beating himself out there. But overall in this game, give me the Packers here, 26-17. I think the Packers should be able to really just shut down the Giants' offense, who is pretty limited on that side and stuff like that. I think Jordan Love continues to have a pretty good day. This is a good Giants defense, obviously, but like I said, I'm not really worried. I think the Packers offense will be able to put up more points than the Giants will. So give me the Packers here, 26-17, as they continue their playoff push here. Now I'll do it. Those are my Week 14 NFL predictions. Comment your picks below. Like, share, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the games this weekend, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.